What's up, y'all? It's me, Tasha C. And in this video, I will be viewing Married to Medicine Season 2 episode. Can this season be over with? I'm sorry. This is hopefully going to be a short review because there was nothing really too much out there. I mean, let's get it out to where I'm glad that Lisa found out that she is cancer-free. She finally get her test, and her husband's there, which is, I mean, he's very supportive. I actually like Lisa Nicole and her husband. They're cool. And it's awesome. It's about just the dynamics of those two and the bond and everything. I mean, but I'm glad to find out that she is, the cysts are not are not cancerous or anything based on what the husband was saying and stuff. So good for that. What else? Mariah was kind of really there. Like I said, really, it's just really these two things. Now, Dr. Jackie later on in the episode with Dr. Jamone, she knows a family counselor that does adoptions and everything, and they find, decide to invite her over. Dr. Jackie's like, she wants to lie in the carpet trying to have Simone vacuum volunteer. She like, we ain't got time for this shit. I ain't got time for this. So they sit there and they talk, and to the doctor woman that this is the same. Simone delivered two of this woman's babies, as it was said, I think, in the last episode, and now all of a sudden, she's adopted 4 children and she has guardianship of another one. She has a total technically of 7 kids. And she's telling the truth about all the paperwork and everything and stuff going on. And Jackie has a moment because she was telling about the history about, we already know the fortunate thing that she got cancer the first time when she was pregnant, lost the baby. And we all know what happened with the effects with the chemotherapy. So, in other words, she's just talking about, the overwhelmness, I think, with her situation. And there's a lot of papers, so hopefully her husband go on board. So it's still pending about if she's going to continue doing this adoption process. And so later on, let's go to this episode, because the only other part also is really the we event, and then really ending with the quad thing. Because these episodes, y'all, I'm not trying to quit, but I mean, really, it's really just. So the first scene, actually, we picked up where we left off at. And the thing is that we're picking off where Quad is telling, because, Dr. Hembley's basically like, can we all get along? They're still going back and forth. Mariah ends up crying, talking stuff in the bathroom. Dr. Simone is actually in the bathroom. And she's sitting here talking about, she should have left the roach there. I ain't got time for this, blah, blah, blah. And here's Quad telling Dr. because, Dr. telling who's just basically got into the circle, okay? Or at least her pinky toe is barely in the circle. She's sitting up there trying to tell, like, y'all need to get along. Y'all love each other, blah, blah, blah. But the truth is, this is when the Power Quad is kind of taking it to, like, she took a couple theater classes, I think, or got a minor theater. Because she's just like, this is not a show. This is my life. And, not to say that she doesn't have true emotion, but a couple times she was just kind of doing it a little too much. So basically, I think Mariah and her came back, but they just basically by the time went back to the conference afterwards. And by that time, Toya and Simone for 1 second realized, they sat down each other for a minute. They still in that little conference room suite thing. And they realized, really, is it worth doing anything? This is really petty. So Toya just like, I wanted you to understand me. And Dr. Simone is like, okay, I do. Hugs. And they're supposed to be cool. Until later on, I found out when Dr. Jackie, in a separate scene, was asking Dr. Simone, like, dang, you really went hard on Toya at first. And she's like, well, she came to me in broken English. So I don't know. She didn't say, like, well, we basically ended it. So we don't know. But yeah, so here's the last part I really want to discuss. Now they're doing the conference thing, and I guess it's the last part of the panel. Dr. Jackie's on the panel, and Dr. Hembley feels like, why was she not invited? Lisa Nicole doesn't know her like that, and based on Dr. Hembley's thing, like the meeting and everything, she seems to be a little. I swear, I think she was put on the show more so for comic relief than all her accomplishments and business, ventures and stuff like that. Because she's sitting here, got Let Us Know confessional. She just like, I own several practices. I have a book. I have a talk show. Radio show. I have all this going on for me. Why wasn't I put on there? So she sees plenty of open seats. Now, that would have been something else. It would have been somebody's seat she was sitting in, okay, who just sat there and maybe got, facial and got some makeup on and stuff, right? And she sits here and you know, decides to go on the stage. And Lisa Nicole, being nice, just said, oh, well, I'll just leave her up here. And she just sitting here like, you know, I'm supposed to be with these ladies. So at first, Dr. Jackie says about, you know, the thing about health was about the weight, and how she was saying she read an article or something, or read a journal, or a scholarly journal or something, about how weight, there's a high correlation with weight, like obesity, with the chances of women getting cancer. And then she's like, she knows people get touchy about the subject about that, but she say basically, well, her, in her journey, that was that. So even Lisa Nicole, when she introducing Miss Dr. Heavenly, she even missed, like, she just really took the stage, but I want to give her the opportunity, everybody get around. And your Dr. Heavenly's just, like, complimenting everything she's saying. You know what? I really do appreciate everything you are doing, Lisa Nicole. I just want to say, I went to a bunch of conferences. And I never seen one like this where I can learn something and unity come together and blah, blah, blah. And I just want everybody to know that y'all, you know, everybody is happy, special. And by the way, I'm Dr. Heavenly, and Google me. And so anyways, at the end, you know, Lisa Nicole's trying to get all the ladies hugged. You got one side, you know, it's kind of like a half a circle. One side, the one end of the circle is Mariah, one end is choir. When they get, you know, about to go up, Lisa Nicole is trying to sit there and try to have a group hug and trying to say, okay, we gotta be united and hugged in this group. And Mariah's basically like, now I ain't got time for it. And choir is like, yeah, whatever, okay. So the last scene, because I want to talk, because like I said, it wasn't really that much that stood out. Quad is still trying to get this designer line. You know, remember she has 30 days that possible venture is going to spend a lot of money into the possible company venture. And so she's with Rico Chappelle, who was making sure, like I said, if, I did RBD episode, he's making sure we see him all guest spotting all these, most of these reality shows now. Get that money. So he's saying like this here, when they were talking about Mariah and the way she was and how she got the nerves to like talk about putting people on pedestals, you know, like she gave, you know, people relevant. And I forgot to mention, Quad said earlier that she felt kind of offended because even though she's trying to claim, I said, I gave you a platform. Quad is like this. And she started crying in the confessional like, I didn't know, I thought we had a friendship, not something such as a platform, you know. So we got that problem still going on as well. So, anyways, y'all, when she told Rico Chappelle saying like this, supposedly in the streets, now I don't know who is talking in the streets. We all know in Real Housewives level. Anyway, we don't know who's talking in the streets about this problem. Now all of a sudden, Mariah's saying, I guess she made Rico Chappelle irrelevant too. And when Rico Chappelle's kind of mad, so they all talking about, I guess, their issues with Mariah. But Quad's got this upcoming event. And she's debating, I think, this charity, fashion show event, whatever. So Rico feels this thing, so like maybe she texts and actually gonna like donate or actually show up. Because Quiet wants to see, does she want to establish the relationship, or she, you know, stop getting mixed feelings? You don't want to be bothering me, just let me know. And I guess I take it from there. And then, basically, Rico takes and texts his own self to Mariah. So they wondering how she's going to respond. We do know she's going to show up, and Rico's the one going to spaz out Mariah. So I don't know what the hell that's coming from. But anyways, so now they wanted, it was a good idea. But it's kind of ends to be continued. And that's it, y'all. It really wasn't too much that episode. It really has been too much in these episodes. But anyway, y'all have a pleasant week, pleasant night, pleasant weekend. And I'll see you in the next exciting adventures in Married to Medicine. Y'all take care.